Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm so Ray. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy, because we're infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. This is who we are, this is our nature. Okay, so this video is about exercise 10. So I'm making a series of videos, exercises about the book and things that are very useful and practical. It's all the practicality. So how you put everything into practice for the book, what I've done, what I've created for all of you for free, for the Republic of Planet Earth, who we are, the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth, the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth, the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth, the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth, who we are as a species, the human race, who we are, infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation, the human heart. So let's do exercise 10. So I'm gonna read it, and then I'll walk you through it, okay? And then we spend as much time as required. So exercise 10, spot and shatter premise. Identify all fantasies and illusions, mediums and media, messengers and messages outside your control, negative events and experiences. Within your control, the memories forming as a result. Okay? Disintegrate the shadow. Integrate your unconscious mind. Love the events and experiences. Love the memories with all your heart. Heal, recover, forgive, accept, move on. Follow your heart. Heartful flow states. You see? Powerful, beautiful. So I'm going to read it one more time and then we'll start. Exercise 10. Spot and shatter premise. Identify all fantasies and illusions, mediums and media, messengers and messages outside your control, negative events and experiences. Within your control, memories forming as a result. Disintegrate the shadow. Integrate your unconscious mind. Love the events and experiences. Love the memories with all your heart. Heal, recover, forgive, accept, move on. Follow your heart. Heartful flow states. Okay? Beautiful. So this is exercise 10A. In the beginning, I thought there would be 10 exercises, but it ended up being 11. But there could be more in the future, you see, because everything is infinite. So there's an infinite number of exercises. So, but let's do this one. So spot and shatter premise. Okay? So remember, we're compass. This is who we are. The name of the book is Fantasies and Illusions, Compass, The Quest for Infinite Free Will. Right? So this is what the book's name is. This is what the book's title is, right? Because this is who we are. This is who we are. This is our species. We're compasses, you see? We're spherical energy ourselves. Our electromagnetic field is spherical, so we're spherical compasses. This is who we are. And we have primary elements, identity and true self, purpose, time and energy, action, why, how, flow, true north, and destination, you see? And we manufacture, we create these primary elements with our highest energy of creation, which is the energy of our singularity, the biological singularity, which is the human heart. You see, love is the highest energy of the human heart. And love creates all these elements because without the human heart, we wouldn't exist. The primordial instinct is the human heart. You see, this is the primordial instinct of the human species. The instinct to exist, and this is the heartbeat, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. And this polarity, this contraction, this retraction of the human heart generates the electromagnetic field, which is spherical in nature, and the space structure density within it is us, the human body, who we are as a species. So if we understand this, if we understand who we are, if we understand our nature, right? If we understand our nature, that the singularity of who we are is the human heart, the epicenter of everything, and the highest energy that we can create with our heart is love, then you know that love creates everything. And because without the heart we wouldn't exist. Nothing would exist because we wouldn't exist. So we won't know anything about anything that there is because we wouldn't exist because there wouldn't be a human heart. So you see, the human heart is a biological creator. comes out of the DNA, and the DNA is the biological expression of infinity. The human DNA is infinity itself. Why? Because we're the human species and we inhabit the planet orbiting the central sun of the universe. Our sun, right there, beaming right in my face, that showed up right here, right there. I stare at it because we're sundials. We can stare at the sun. We open the portal. We build the bridge. This is what we do. You see, and we evolve to infinity with the energy that comes from the heart and from the sunlight together as one, this infinite virtuous cycle. So we have evolved into the image of the creator. You see the sun, the central sun. And our sun is a very special sun because it's the singularity of the universe. The universe is spherical and it's an electromagnetic field just like us. And the epicenter of that electromagnetic field is the singularity. It's a singular point where all points meet. All the points in the universe meet at the singularity, right? All the polarity, it gets released into a vortex, and that's the singularity. So it has to be a star, has to be a sun. And that sun is ours. We orbit the central sun of the universe. We're the epicenter of everything that there is. We're the human species. This is who we are. So you see the most ancient species, the central species in the whole cosmos, in the whole universe. That's why we're the image of the creator, because we ourselves have an electromagnetic field spherical like the creator, and our heart is the highest energy of creation of a species, and is love. You see, it's like this highest energy of the central sun releases all the energy that creates everything, all the galaxies, everything, including us. So because of that, we do the same. We do the same, but the highest energy that we release is love. And love creates our primary elements as compass, who we are. Because we're compass and sundial, both with dual nature. Because we exist, we're compass, electromagnetic field, just like the sun. Then we get in sync with it, so we're sundials as well. You see, I stare at the sun, and I channel all that energy. I love it with all my heart, with all my might, and I evolve into infinity. Just like everyone else, I unlock the key, which is love. So then again, it's all one, right? Compass and sundial. So this is exercise 10, so let's talk about it for a little bit. So spot, shatter, premise. Because we're compass and we're infinite energy, the energy of love, the highest energy of creation. What are we spotting? Well, we're spotting fantasies and illusions, right? So what are fantasies and illusions? As it says here, because remember, when what can you shatter? Because love is the highest energy of creation. So when you identify, and so you spot, right? You spot. What are you spotting? Well, you're identifying all fantasies and illusions, right? And that's what you're spotting. You're spotting that with our senses, with our perception, right? We spot them. Okay, so that's a fantasy. That's an illusion. And love is the highest energy that we have as a compass. And what does high energy do to low energy density? It shatters it. It ceases to exist. It gets disintegrated because it's higher energy. And whatever remains, the essence, right, the trace of it, it gets absorbed, gets integrated, and that's our unconscious mind. Our conscious mind gets integrated into our conscious mind, so become aware, conscious, self-aware of our unconscious mind. Because the fantasies and illusions are the shadow. The shadow is the amalgamation, the aggregate of all the fantasies and illusions in our lives that inhabits the unconscious mind, and they get triggered with other events, new fantasies, new illusions. This vicious cycle of fantasies and illusions coming together as one. Because an illusion generates more fantasies, and then the fantasizing of the illusions and new illusions come and trigger, and it goes forever. All right, so we need to shatter them, and we shatter them, we disintegrate them, right? And then they cease to exist, and what remains is the essence, the memory. Right, without any cognitive load, negative cognitive load attached to it, and because of love, because that's what love does. It gets absorbed in our unconscious mind into our consciousness, so we become aware and conscious of our unconscious mind, and the shadow ceases to exist. It gets disintegrated, and by that happening, then we love more, because all that static, all that friction, all that background noise, which is all this tension, right, all this negativity, all these fantasies, all these illusions, when you disintegrate them, when you shatter them, when they cease to exist and we render them obsolete, then you free up all that energy, so you can use that energy to be conscious and love, right? And create. And what's love? Well, love is healing, recovery, forgiving, right? Accepting, moving on, gratitude. That's what love is. So you love those memories, these fantasies, these illusions. That's why you spot and shatter, because you need to identify them, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. So what are fantasies and illusions? Well, fantasies and illusions are mediums and media. And because everything is infinite, because infinity is everything that there is, and everything is contained within infinity, which means it has the same properties as infinity. So there is an infinite number of fantasies and illusions. And there is an infinite... what are fantasies and illusions? Well, fantasies and illusions are mediums and media. Any mediums, any media. And mediums and media, right? They themselves are infinite. There is an infinite number of mediums. There is an infinite numbers of media, right? And then what else is this? Well, what are mediums and media? Well, mediums and media, whichever format they are, they happen to be messengers and messages, right? Messengers and messages of their own. They have this duality that the mediums and the media can be messenger and message at the same time because of the polarity, because of the duality principles of them, what they are. So you see fantasies and illusions themselves, the polarity of these, because they come together into one negative event, experience that forms as a memory. They themselves as an object, objects, infinite number of them, they themselves have their own polarities of messengers and messages and mediums and media together, all coming together into these, which is this object, which is a fantasy or an illusion showing up in our lives in the way of what? Interacting with our electromagnetic field. Because remember, we're conscious and self-awareness, but we're the human heart. So the human heart generates the electromagnetic field, right? And that electromagnetic field, the space structure is also, we're conscious of self-awareness. This space structure density is a human body, and we have senses, right? We hear, we see, we smell, we taste, we touch. And we process all these, we decode it and encode it. So we see reality for what it is, everything that is sensory perception. And we're intelligent, so we can make sense of that. We can make sense of that event. We can make sense of that experience, because the fantasies and illusions are at two levels: outside our control and within our control. So let's start with the ones that are the most prevalent ones, which is outside our control, right? Because they come and interact with our electromagnetic field, our consciousness, our self-awareness, what we can see. Everything that we can see, that we can observe, that we can hear, that interacts with us, that's part of what we are. All these fantasies and illusions, right? These objects, they interact with us. They show up in the way of mediums and media, messengers and messages. These objects, they could be of any nature, okay? And they show up and they interact with us, and they are negative in nature. They're negative events and experience outside our control, all right? And what are they doing? Well, they're trying to create impressions in our life. Why? Because these impressions are in our senses, right? So they form what? Memories, right? And these are negative events, and we know what negativity is, right? Negative events and experiences, they could be hateful events, hatred, trauma, right? Pain, suffering, fear, all this violence, all this negative destruction, all these bad things that can happen, all these fantasies and illusions, right? Coming and interacting with us. And the mediums and media could be an infinite number of them. So let's just, for example, say a medium could be a phone, smartphone. But you see, a medium, these mediums, right? Within a medium, you can have many mediums contained within it. Mediums in general. So a phone has an app, right? And that app itself is a medium within the medium, which is the phone itself, right? So it's a medium within the medium. So the phone itself is a medium, the hardware, the gadget, the device. That's a medium. But then that has an operating system, right? A software that runs it, a kernel. That itself is another medium within the medium that runs it. The software that runs the hardware. So that itself, that's two mediums already in one. And then the third medium will be the app within the operating system, right? So that's a third level of mediums, right? 3 medium levels already. And then that app has a functionality, right? It could be a type of app. Say it could be a social media app, a platform, a marketplace, anything. So that itself, that's a 4 category, 4 levels of mediums, you see? That's why mediums and media, right? So the medium itself could be that. And then what is that medium, right? The channel doing, say that social media app. Could be any, there's an infinite number of them, right? We all know them. So what are these mediums doing, right? They're creating impressions. They have content inside of them, right? There's information, data sets inside of them, right? That's what they are. And how do we call those? Media. That's the media. And what's media? Well, media is a message, a messenger, right? In the way of this medium, right? And there's 4 categories I discovered. The phone, the hardware, the device, the software that runs the phone, 2 levels of mediums already. then the app installed on the phone, the software, the OS, the operating system. That's 3 medium categories, 3 medium levels, 3 layers of mediums. And then the fourth one is the nature of the app itself. What type of app is it? Could be a social media app, could be a platform of any nature, could be a software of any nature, it could be a marketplace. You see, these 4 categories already. Could be a game, could be anything, right? Any app for any reason. Say, for example, this is just, and then again, there's an infinite number of mediums, you see, and the phone itself, that's just one medium with 4 layers of mediums. But that's an infinite number. It could be a book, it could be a movie, right? It could be anything. It could be anything that there is. It could be a photo, it could be a video. You see, it could be anything. It could be a human, right? It could be anything. It could be a toy, an object, a device, a gadget, a synthetic gadget, a hardware piece, right? Making noise, right? Right? Like outside, you can hear that. That noise that you can hear. Oh, that's a medium, right? It's a hardware. Making noise, right? That's the message, noise, right? That you can hear, you can sense, right? So, because you can only hear the noise, right? You see that? That's noise, right? That's noise, right? That's a medium making noise. So you see there is an infinite number of mediums that we interact with our senses in our reality, right? That we interact, that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. So you can think of an infinite number of mediums, right? That exist because there is an infinite number of things that exist because infinity is everything that there is. So then again, so you got the app, the phone app, right? And the 4 categories. And then you have an app within it. And that app could be of any nature. But let's say, for example, that is an app, a social media app. And there is, then there's another layer of it, which is the nature of the app, the way in which the messages and the messengers are communicated, right? And the media contained within the mediums, right? So say, for example, is any. You think of any. Picture it in your mind. And then that's the media, right? The message, the content, right? The messenger. Because the nature of this is that the message, which is the content, the media, has a dual nature. So it's a message and it's a messenger. Why is it a messenger? Because it's communicating a message, right? That media, the content, is communicating a message. So that's a messenger of its own. You see, it has those properties. But by being the messenger, because it's communicating a message, it contains a message that is being communicated. So it's the message as well. So the mediums and the media have this dual function as well of being messengers and messengers. And that applies to smartphones or anything. Anything has these duality principles applies to all. And fantasies and illusions form in the way of these objects that interact with us. Okay? So if you understand these and for what it is, then you understand that the mediums themselves, the mediums, right, that communicate the message, they themselves are media themselves. Why? Because they are embedded within other mediums that created them. For example, a smartphone has components, right? Hardware components, pieces that make it function, right? It has a screen, it has all that. So those are the mediums of that media, which is a smartphone itself, which happens to be a medium as well. So you see, it's this duality principle, it's this dual nature. So mediums are media. But mediums themselves can be mediums and communicate another media. So you see, it's an infinite number of encodings within it. You see an infinite number of layers. So the mediums and media, and then the content, right, within the media itself that is being shared through that medium, right? And that content is the message. But that message is also a messenger because it has this dual nature. Say, for example, that is a video. And that video causes an impression, right, in what your senses, because you're watching it, right? You're consuming that medium, right? That media, that messenger, that message. Whatever the video is, could be a video about anything, could be a video about cars. It doesn't really matter. Could be any video, say, or it could be a photo, right? Those are the two most prevalent things that we share on social media apps and things like that. Photos and videos, right? So if you understand this nature, right? If you understand this nature, so you interacting with it, you're consuming it. It creates an impression, right? So what is this? Well, not all mediums and media are necessarily negative. They're not all fantasies and illusions. But the problem with this type of, the nature of these objects, right, it's the nature of them, is that the mediums and why are they fantasies and illusions? This is the question. Why are all these mediums and media, all these messengers and messages outside of control, these objects, an infinite number of them? Right now I'm talking about content on a social media app, any of them, in a way of a video. Let's call it a video, right? Let's call it a video. So that message, right, that messenger, those mediums, those media, that object, why is it that that is a fantasy and illusion? Well, it is an illusion. It starts as an illusion. Why? Because the content, right, the content that is being shared, the message, the messenger, whatever nature of that, is not real, because it's not the real object. Say that it's a video about cars, right? It's a video about cars. Well, that car is real, but not in the video. In real life, it was manufactured, right? It's a car, it's a real car, and we identify it as a car, so we know that it's a real car that exists. But the video of it is not real. The video of it is an illusion, because it's not the real car. It's just content of that. So you see, it's an illusion immediately. That impression is an illusion because the content of it is real in the sense that that car actually exists, right? But the video is not real. It is real in the sense that we can consume it, but it's not the real object. It's an illusion. In fact, it can get even deeper in meaning, because that car might even not be real. It could be a deep fake. It's not even a real car. It's generative AI. It's a fake car. It was created by an algorithm. It's not even a real car. It doesn't even exist in real life. Actual car that you can touch, that you can go in person. Oh, this is the car in the video. It could be a real car or it could be a fake car, because it's a deep fake. It's manufactured with generative AI, right? As an example. So you see, this is an illusion because the real car might not even exist. So you're thinking of that, oh, look at that car, and it's a fake car because it doesn't even exist, because it was manufactured by AI, right? And you're watching it thinking that it's a real. So that creates an illusion, an impression in our minds, a memory, right, of thinking that that is the real. Because what happens with the illusions, that is that impression that we're creating, right? Because why do we accept it as something that is real? Because we know that cars exist, because we see them in real life, right? We see them in real life. So when we watch a video of a car, then we immediately associate that video, which is an illusion, with the real car. So we think that that video is the real car. Our mind does that. It's a trick that the mind does. So it associates that illusion, that might even be a deep fake, that is not even a real car, that it doesn't even exist, but because we know cars exist, we think that that is real, and that's the illusion that gets formed in our minds. You see? So that is a problem. It's negative in nature. Why? Because it creates an illusion of something that is not real, and we think it's real because now that impression is in our mind and it becomes a memory. That's when fantasies start to kick in, because now that we created this impression of this illusion in our mind, whether it's a deep fake or it's not, it's a real car. Still not the real car, it's just the image of it, it's the visual of it. The real car is somewhere else, but because we know that those are cars, we start to believe that that video is the actual car, and we interact with it. It's like with famous people. You don't know famous people, but you think they're real because they're on a camera all the time and you see them all the time, right? But you never met them. But you know that they're real because they're humans, right? But the video is not the real human, right? It's just an impression of the human, right? So it is the same nature. You see, you're creating illusions. You're creating illusions. You're creating illusions in your mind. These are not real things because you're not friends with those famous people. They're not your mates. You don't see them in person. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. So it is the same with this cat. You don't know this cat unless you know the cat because it's your cow, your friend's cow. You've seen that cat. So then now you know that that's not an illusion because the medium, it doesn't create a fantasy, an illusion in your mind that is negative in nature, right? But this is what social media does. It has this, creates illusions. Social media creates illusions. Okay, that's what it does. It creates illusions, right? Not always, because there is a lot of positive content in media, a lot. But it has a tendency to create fantasies in our minds. Why? Because this illusion is formed. Now you start to think that this illusion is real because you associate the car in it with real cars, and that might not even be a real car, it could be a deep fake. But say that it is a real car. Say that it's a real car, so it's not that, it doesn't get that confusing. So it's a real car, but you never seen that car. You never seen that car, but it's a car because you know it's a car, right? So then what happens? In your mind, you associate the real car with the video. So you don't know the real car, but you know the video, the image, the memory, the illusion. So that becomes the real car in your life. The video becomes a real car because you never seen it, you never touched it. You don't even know where that car is. So it's the video that becomes the image of it, the impression becomes the thing. So that's an illusion. So what happens, because our nature is to think, because we're intelligent, then we start to render fantasies. Because illusions render fantasies, meaning we start to fantasize over that car in the video. We want that car. I like that car. I want the car. It's a nice car. And then you start to fantasize over the car. Right. So you start to create fantasies over an illusion in the first place. So and the problem is that this illusion becomes an impression, becomes a memory in your life. Right. It first was outside your control because it showed up in your life as content, right? The algorithm put it in front of you, right? So then that illusion kind of goes into your mind and stuff. And it becomes a memory of your own. But then you start to fantasize over that memory. Because it's a memory now, you can think about that memory. And then you fantasize and you create new memories that are fantasies out of this illusion. So the illusion becomes the kernel of an infinite number of fantasies. And the problem is that when you start to create those fantasies render that illusion. And by rendering that illusion, it creates new illusions out of those. So it's an infinite vicious cycle. It's terrible. It's destructive in nature because you get distracted. It's not real. So your life becomes a fantasy life based on these illusions. And the thing is that you're not only consuming one piece of media, one impression. There's so many impressions every day, new videos, new content, new stuff, right? So you have all these stuff, all these new illusions coming into your life because those are not the real people. And remember, these, if it's human, say, move away from cast, say that it's a human. It doesn't have to be a famous human. It could be any human in social media that you don't know. But that person, when that human shows up, that could be highly edited. It could be a lot of makeup, a lot of lighting. So that's not even how that real human looks in the real life. If you meet them in person, you wouldn't even know that it's the same person because it's so different, because it's an illusion. You see, the content creates this impression that it's an illusion. The thing itself is fake. It's an illusion. It's not the real human. But itself, it has layers of illusions within it because of all the editing, because of all the makeup, because of all the lighting, because of all the photoshopping, because of all the works that is being done to it. So it ends up being a completely manufactured thing that is not even the real thing, right? But that for us becomes illusion. That for us is the real thing in our mind because we don't know that person. We wouldn't even recognize that person in real life. And because of AI, now we have generative AI. So that might even be a real human. It might be a fake human, a deep fake. A fake human created, right? But you might think that that's the real thing, and that's another illusion because we are constantly getting impressions, right, of all these stuff, right? These new illusions feeding what? The previous memories of illusions and fantasies that we were fantasizing. So we have all these feeds of illusions coming in, and then you start to fantasize over those illusions. So you have an infinite number of fantasies and illusions and creating this vicious cycle that what it does, it distracts your mind. And you're just distracted all day long with nonsense, right? And that's why it's negative in nature. But the beauty of it is that these mediums have a duality principle, right? Not all the mediums and not all the media and not all the messengers and all the messages are negative in nature, just the ones that form fantasies and illusions. Because there could be real videos of real people that are doing real things that are not edited, like myself. This is myself. You see, that's why I make it in this setting, because natural light. So you see who I am. This is who I am. You see, there's no illusions around this. The video is not me in real person, but I'm real because I exist and I'm communicating objective reality, so you can verify everything that I talk about, and I do. Everything is there. So you see, I try to keep to minimize everything, so present myself in the most real way that I can. So I avoid all the negativity that comes with all these illusions and fantasies, right? And as I said, there's an infinite number of mediums and media. It's not only videos, but it's just because it's so prevalent in today's world. I'm using that as an example. So essentially, but it's beyond that. It could be in real life as well. All the mediums and media that we engage with. Hard books, toys, say for example, right? A toy is an object, right? And you can associate memories with it. So then again, if it's a negative object, you can associate negative memories to that object and fantasize over it. That's called trauma and things. So you see, you can apply this to everything, but I'm just giving an example that is clear so you can understand it. So you see, so that's what happens. What happens is that is the nature of fantasies and illusions, because it leads to this vicious cycle of fantasizing over illusions, and then you create fantasies and illusions. But you see, and they're all outside your control because they're coming in your proximity. In the way of social media, the algorithm is giving them to you. That's outside your control, right? Because the algorithm is just giving you content. Infinite scrolling, right? It's just new content. And that content could be of any nature. But outside that is everything that you interact with. If you're, say, walking on the street, is everything that interacts with you. Those are the mediums, the media, the messages, and the messengers, right? So you see these dimensions, the digital and the physical, right? So you understand these at all scales of what it is, what I'm referring to. So this is what it is. So then again, but that's the nature of this, or it creates this, and because of the sensory perception. I have spoken at length in many other videos that you can watch about what fantasies and illusions are, all the different problems that they cause and why they're negative, right? Because they distract us, they create delusions in the mind. So you see, that's why it's very easy for humans to start to live fantasy lives because of all these mediums and media, messengers of any nature, and then your life becomes like not real, like you're not really living life. You're just like, just existing, because you're purposeless. You're not really focused on what matters, which is you, your heart, creating yourself as an individual, which is compass. You see this. So when you understand these fantasies, that's what I'm doing. Exercise 10. I'm explaining to you how to spot and identify. So spot and shatter, because we're compass, right? We're compass. This is who we are. We're infinite energy of love. This is our nature, and love is the highest energy. And because we have our memories, those memories become within our control, right? Of all this negativity, all these fantasies, and all these illusions. So we can shatter them, and we shatter them with the love of our hearts. By what? By loving ourselves. And if those are negative impressions that create trauma or fear or hate in our lives, because that's sometimes it's toxic. A lot of the things out there are toxic. So what you want to do is to love yourself so you stay out of them. But sometimes, because there's so many impressions, right? So many impressions, there's so many mediums, so many media that we engage with, we need to heal what's within, all the damage that's been caused by all these fantasies and illusions. And that's why you engage your heart, so you can forgive yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, and start healing. Because first off, these are not real things. These are fantasies and illusions. They're not even real. Say, it's like when you watch something, say, the news, right? You're watching the news and there's all this negativity, right? It's all this negativity, all this nonsense, right? That is not really advancing your life in any way, but then you start to engage with it, because remember, we're emotional, we're sentient. When you're engaging with all these fantasies and all these illusions, right? You are putting your emotions in there. You're invested in them, right? Because you think they're real, because that's the illusion. You think that's the real. You think that's the video is a real person. when it can be a fully manufactured and orchestrated thing. Could be a psyop. The whole thing could be a psyop. Psychological operation, warfare, right? Misinformation, disinformation, right? The whole thing can just be a campaign, an influence campaign, manipulating people, right? The whole thing. Why? Because they want you to hate, or they want you to do this. You see, it's warfare. So how do you stay out of it? By loving yourself, because these things are not real. These are weapons, right? Being used against you, against your own mind, right? That's what they're being used for. So because you love yourself and you know that you're real and you have a heart and then you love, you can shatter them. So you spot and shatter premise, right? You spot them. Because remember, when you start to associate all these memories, right, that because of the illusions and the fantasies, you're putting emotions to it, right? You're attached to them, right? Because you watch it and you think it's real, right? When it can be, the whole thing can just be a psychological operation, a psyop, right? It could be a psyop, hey. A psyop, hey. Modern warfare, psyop, hey. Literally. An influence campaign, literally. Warfare, right? Modern warfare, right? Targeting the mind. And it's highly targeted because it targets your brain, right? It targets you. The algorithm is seeking you, right? It's seeking you and putting that impression in front of you, right? So you react in a certain way. So it knows you and it's targeting you, right? So there's levels to this, right? There's levels. You see, this is modern warfare, right? So they're targeting you. Right? And you see that noise outside? It's targeting me, right? Because I'm talking about these things. So that's just the way it is, you see? So you understand these, but how do you spot and shatter? You spot and shatter, right? You spot and shatter. Why? Because you have love in your heart, right? You have love in your heart, right? You have love in your heart. And love is the highest energy of creation. So because you love those memories, then you can heal. You heal, right? You heal by forgiving yourself, by believing all this nonsense, right? All these trappings, all these fantasies and illusions, all this content, all these impressions that are negative. So you get engaged in this negativity, right? Because when you start to fantasize that in your real life, you start to believe that that is real life. That fantasy that you're watching, right? The mediums, the media, the messengers, the messages, whatever that is, the fantasies, the illusions, right? Whatever that is, in any nature, in your mind, you think it's real because you're fantasizing over them. You're thinking about them for memories, right? Impressions. So when you go out in your life, then you start to feel like that, right? And then you act out on things. And that's not normal behavior because it's a fantasies and illusions. These are problems in society. These are the biggest problems that we have in society are fantasies and illusions because they're negative in nature. Because remember, you're emotionally attached because we're human, we're sentient. We attach emotions to things because this content is created to trigger emotions, to trigger ways, right? To trigger. And by creating triggers, right? Then it enacts certain behaviors, right? Process behavior. This is all manipulation, is warfare. So essentially what that does, right? What is it that it does, right? What is it that it does? Well, you in your life feel those emotions. And then you just in your life feel whatever way that makes you feel because you're giving it power by thinking about them. So you need to stop doing that, and this is what spot and shatter premise is. Spot and shatter premise is the opposite of all of it, right? So you're not giving power to these fantasies, these illusions. You're not letting them take your time, your mind real estate, your thinking, right? Your resources. So you love, because love comes from the heart. It's the highest energy of creation, right? The highest energy of creation, right? That's what love is. Love is the highest energy of creation. That's what love is. Love is the highest energy of creation. So what you do, you love yourself. And by loving yourself, you start to heal. Because of all these memories, right, that were formed, because of all these impressions, because of all these fantasies, because of all these illusions, right? You start to love them. So you spot them and shatter them because you love them. It's because you know they're not real. They're not happening to you in your real life. You're just seeing them through mediums and media, messengers and messages. They're not real. This is not real. This is not happening to you in real life, right? This is not happening to you in real life. This is just happening because you're consuming this nonsense, right? But you have free will, so you can stop consuming it, for starters. Number one. So you have free will, so you can stop consuming this nonsense, all these fantasies and all these illusions. That's number one. Number two, and that's within your control, right? That's within your control. You can choose not to engage anymore because it's not healthy. It's not healthy. All right, so you don't engage in it, number one. Number two, what's inside your control? All the memories, all the fantasies and illusions that were formulated, created already in your mind by you engaging in those impressions. So that's what love is. You love yourself because you love yourself. You don't want to be engaging in this warfare. Why? It doesn't make any sense because it's not making you laugh. It's not making you feel good. It's making you feel negativity. So what you do, you love yourself, right? You love yourself. So by loving yourself, you understand that this is not healthy, so you stop consuming it. So if you engage on media, the media that you engage on is positive media, is media that will help you grow. Sports, you see, learning, entertainment that is positive, humor. All these things that are positive, that make you laugh, that make you feel good, that make you feel human, right? A good movie, you read a good book, right? You watch good content, quality content, right? If you like mechanics, say you watch a guy fixing, or someone building a car or an engine, and that's good content, right? Something that is not gonna be doing negative stuff to you, right? Something positive, right? You don't engage in the negativity, because when you do, then you attract that to your life, right? You attract that to your life. You attract that to your life. So you don't want that. So what you do, you love yourself, and by loving yourself, you stay away from all this negativity. So that's the first thing that you see within your control. So you stop everything outside that you don't want anymore. So you can start to deal with all the memories that were created that are within your control out of these fantasies and illusions. So you start to love, right? So you start to love, right? So you start to love. So you start to love. You start to love. You love yourself and you love all the memories, right? And this is what this is: healing, recovering, forgiving, accepting, moving on, right? All these memories, all this stuff, all this trauma, all these emotions that are triggered by all these fantasies and illusions, right? You heal them. So the memory gets shattered, and this was spot and shatter premise is. So you spot the memory. So the first event that comes that triggers something, you identify immediately for what it is. You identify it immediately for what it is, right? And what is that? Well, it's negative, and it's a memory. Why is it negative? Because I'm reacting negatively to it. I'm getting triggered by this memory. I'm getting triggered by this event, by this trauma, by this experience, right? This fantasy, this illusion. So you start, because you are conscious and self-aware, you identify that immediately. So you love yourself, and by loving yourself, you shatter that fantasy and that illusion, and it loses a lot of that static, that background noise, that friction, that disappears. It gets dissipated, right? It gets dissipated. It gets dissipated. That's what it does. It ceases to exist. It ceases to exist because you are shattering it. You're disintegrating it. And remember, the accumulation of all these fantasies and illusions, they form a shadow, which inhabits the unconscious mind, because you're not aware of it. You see all these low level stuff, negativity is in the back of your mind, and you want to release it. You want to release it. All this shadow, you disintegrate it, right? And you disintegrate it with love, which is the highest energy of creation. Love is the highest energy of creation, because we are the human heart. We love with our hearts. And when we love with our hearts, we shatter all these memories and these fantasies within your control. And you start to do that. And this is an endless process. This happens until there is none to be dealt with, right? And when new events show up, like that guy showing up and making noise when I'm talking about these things, right? Because that's not a coincidence. Talking about these things, so important and crucial for humanity, and that guy shows up making noise, right? Outside my house. So think about it. So what is this? Those are the new events, right? the new events and experiences that are trying to create impressions. Because what is he trying to do? He's trying to create fear. He's trying to attack, right? He's trying to attack, right? Do something negative, right? That will stop me from talking. That's what he wants. He wants me to be quiet, but I'm not. I'm not quiet. I'm not. So, you see, why? Because it's that new event outside your control. They show up, right? They show up and they make noise, right? Do whatever they want, right? Whatever they can do, right? And they want to create that impression. But when you love with the energy of your heart, that has no effect. It has no effect. It has no effect because you love. In fact, you love that human holding that tool and making the noise. You love that human as well, right? Because that human has a heart and you love them. And you love them with all your heart and all your energy. So you see, he ended up leaving. He's cramped, right? So that's how it works. That's how it works. So when it comes in your real life, you love it. You don't engage with it. Non-violence, right? Non-violence, because we're love. And love is the opposite of violence. Love is creation. Love is creation. When you love, you create. That's what you do. When you love, you create. When you love, you create. And when you create, you love. Because love is the highest energy of creation. It's just as simple as that, right? It's just as simple as that. Love is the highest energy of creation. So when we love, we just forgive ourselves and we forgive others. So I have nothing against that person coming outside my house and making noise, right? I have nothing. I don't even know that human. But they show up, right? And they make noise, right? So what am I going to do? Am I going to just do what they're doing? No, because I'm the example. So I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them because by loving them, that's how this is modern warfare. This is the world where we live in now, right? This is the world where we live in. We need to love because love is the highest energy of creation. So all these fantasies and all these illusions, they need to be disintegrated. And you do it with love, with the highest energy of creation, the love of our hearts. We do it with the love of our hearts because love is the highest energy of creation. So when you love with all your heart, you're not going to be fearful. You're not going to be afraid because love is the highest energy of creation. And all these fantasies and all these illusions in your memories of all these events, eventually they become positive. All these memories become traces, essences that you love, that you love. And you love the memories and you're grateful for those events because it allows you to be who you are as a human. It allows you to get to this moment, you see, to love with all your heart and all your might. To love because love is the highest energy of creation. And this is what we're here for. We're here today on planet Earth, the Republic of planet Earth, here and now, to love with all our hearts and all our mights because this is the purpose what we're all here for, to love. Because we are the Republic of planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of planet Earth. With the Republic of planet Earth Constitution, this is who we are. We're the highest energy of creation. We're humanity. We're the central species of the universe. And this is the truth. This is who we are. We are the human race. And love is the highest energy of creation, you see. So all these things outside your control, like that one that just happened earlier, that this is evidence, this video now, of that. So you see, they sometimes happen in real life, not only on phones, right? But when they do, you love that event, you love that person, so it doesn't leave an impression, it doesn't leave negativity because it's not a fantasy, it's not an illusion. You just love that person and you keep on loving with your hearts forever to infinity. Because this is what humanity is. We're infinite love, we're infinite energy, infinite creation. Okay? I'm just an example, right? We all heads of state and commanders-in-chief of the Republic of planet Earth, all of us, and we're billions of hearts, the whole species. This is who we are. We all are the leaders and defenders of the Republic of planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the human race. Okay? We are the human race. So essentially, if you understand this notion, right? All these fantasies, all these illusions, right? All these fantasies, all these illusions, right? Outside your control and within your control. Then you deal with the ones outside your control, so you don't engage with them anymore by not consuming that content if it's digital. And if it's physical, by not engaging with them. Non-violence. You love them. You love them. Love them with all your heart, with all your might, because they're humans and they have hearts. You see? A lot of them have children. So they themselves love. They just, it's life. Life is that. It's teaching us that lesson. It's teaching us to engage as humans as one and love with all our hearts and all our mights, right? We love. It's our instinct to love. We need to love. This is a time to love. Loving because loving is our nature. This is who we are as a species. Okay, so that's it, right? Outside your control. And when it's within your control, you just love. Love all the memories, everything. And when those events happen, you have the ability to love. So you love the event when it happens and you just love them and move on. Love them. Give them love because that's what they need. Love. Love them. Love them. Love them. Because whether they like it or not, they would get that love because love is infinite energy and it gets to their hearts. It gets to their hearts. That's why he left. That's why he left, right? Because he's there. He's actively engaged doing something that is not right. But when you love them, you see that's what happens because love is the highest energy of creation. Love is the highest energy of creation. That's what love is. And this is what we are. We're here to know our nature as an infinite species. Okay, so you see, so when we love these memories, right, we disintegrate the shadow because what's the shadow? The shadow, right, what's the shadow? The shadow is all these fantasies and illusions coming in the unconscious mind. So when you start to shatter this spot and shatter premise, when you start to shatter these illusions, all these fantasies, the shadow disintegrates because it doesn't have anything that triggers them. There's no fear attached to them, no background noise, no static, no friction. So it's just memories. You see, the shadow gets disintegrated and then you integrate your unconscious mind, your blind spot, your blind sides, all the things that you didn't know about your nature, all the things that you were afraid of, all what frightened, all that gave you fear and all that. But when you love the highest energy, all that goes away. You see, all that goes away. All of it goes away. All of it goes away. All of it. Because love is the highest energy of creation. This is what love is. Love is the most powerful energy of creation because we are the central species of the universe. Our biology is a biology of infinity. When you love with your heart, that's all there is. It's infinite love. It's non-violent. It's the most beautiful way because love is everything that there is. Love is everything that there is because it gives us life in the first place and we exist because of it. It has to be love. Love is the highest energy of creation, you see. Love is the highest energy of creation. So you see, so we integrate the unconscious mind. And when you integrate the unconscious mind, you're clear. Because now all these fantasies and illusions, whatever remains, the trace of them, the essence, right? The essence of them, what is it? It's just a memory. And because we love those memories, right? You love the events and experiences, like that what happened earlier, the noise. I love that experience, that event. And you were a witness, you're watching it with me as it happened, right? So I love it. I love that human doing what they're doing because I love them. Because I know love is the mechanism. I love the event, I love the experience. And by loving it, it doesn't form a negative impression. It's actually releasing. It's energy, it's healing, it's cathartic, right? It's therapeutic in the moment, so it doesn't even form into a memory because with you in your control, you're shattering all that with your love before it even does anything. It doesn't form anything because you love it. You love it as it's happening. You love it. You enjoy it. You love it because it's a lesson. You see, that experience is there to teach us a lesson, and the lesson is that love is the highest energy of creation because this is who we are as a species. This is who we are. And then again, you see, you love the events and experiences when they're outside your control happening around you in your proximity, your sensory perception. And then when they are within your control, you love the memories with all your heart. Because now I have this impression with this fella. So now I love it. You know, I love that memory, that moment because of what it led me to, which is this very moment. You see, as what Alexander the Great says, only thing that matters is what happened. It's the only thing that matters. So you love with all your heart and all your might, all the memories and all the events. And this is exercise. All the exercises are about love because my videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy. Because we're infinite love, we're infinite energy, infinite creation. This is who we are with the human race. We're the Republic of planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the citizens of the Republic of planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the human race. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. We are the human race. This is our nature. We're benevolent. We are the highest energy of creation. We are the human species. We are the central planet of the central sun of the universe. This is our species. We're the most ancient species, the most developed species, the most powerful species that exists. And this is who we are. And all of us are the commanders in chief and the heads of state of the Republic of Planet Earth at once, simultaneously. All of us. We're billions of lives. This is who we are. Heartbeats together as one, the human race, forever to infinity. Because this is who we are. This is who we are. Okay, so then if we understand this nature and we love the memories with all our heart, then we heal, we recover, you see, we accept, we move on. And then we're grateful for those events, for those memories. The essence of it becomes gratitude. The essence of it, the trace of that memory, the fantasy and the illusion, right? Becomes that. It becomes love, infinite energy, infinite creation. Because the only thing that matters is what's already happened. And this video is the annals of history. It's testimony to this. Okay, so then we follow our hearts, right? We follow our hearts. Follow your heart, heartful flow states, because we are here to love. We are here to love. And the reason why we're spotting and shattering, though the spot and shatter premise is in the first place, the reason why that is the case is because we need to free up all that energy that is being held up in our unconscious mind in the way of the shadow, all that friction, all that static, all that background noise. And when we release it, what happens when we release it? Well, we free up that energy so we can love more. We can stare at the sun because we're here to stare at the sun. We are the sun, we're sundials, we're compass, we're identity and true self, we're purpose, we're time and energy, we're action. You see, we're why, how, we're flow, we're true north and destination. This is who we are. And compass, we stare at the sun, we open the portal, we build the bridge, right? We open our hearts, open our minds, open our eyes, and get that energy from the sun and evolve into infinity. It's the love of our hearts with the energy of the sun together as one that creates the most wonderful creations, who we are. It's this infinite virtuous cycle of sunlight and love, who we are. The energy, real stuff from outside, the energy of the sun, the greatest energy that there is, the energy of creation, the central sun of the universe, on our hearts, together as one, loving and creating and evolving into who we are, infinite eternal creators, our nature, because this is who we are with the Republic of Planet Earth. And heartful flow states is this infinite love, this infinite creation. This is what it is, this infinite love, this infinite creation. This infinite love, this infinite creation that we do with our hearts, because we create with our hearts. This is what we do. We create with our hearts. This is what we do. It's a human heart. This is what we do. We create with the energy of the love of our hearts, because this is the highest energy. Spot and shatter premise. So we shatter all these fantasies. We shatter all these illusions. Right? All these mediums, all these media, all these messengers, all these messages. Right? All this stuff. Right? All this stuff gets shattered, disintegrated. And we integrate the unconscious mind into our lives because of the memories that form as a result of that, the essence of it, right? The trace. And we love that. We love it with all our hearts and all our minds. Because we're the human race. This is who we are. So this is exercise 10. So I'm going to read a few more things and then that will be this video. So exercise 10. Spot and shatter premise. Identify all fantasies and illusions, mediums and media, messengers and messages, outside your control, negative events and experiences, within your control, the memories forming as a result. Disintegrate the shadow. Integrate your unconscious mind. Love the events and experiences. Love the memories with all your heart. Heal, recover, forgive, accept, move on. Follow your heart. Heartful flow states. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm so Ray. Remember who we are. We're the human species. We live to love and we love to live. This is what we're here for. We're a benevolent species. We're a loving species. We're a heartful species. We're a heart-based species. We're a love-based species. This is who we are. Our instincts are clear. We live to love and we love to live. The purpose of life is the life of purpose. Purposeful life, meaningful lives, happy lives, the pursuit of happiness. This is what we're here to do. To love with all our energy of our hearts, because it's the highest energy of creation. We're humanity. We're the epicenter of the universes that we have created with our consciousness of awareness, including this one that we inhabit. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. I'm so Ray. Remember, we're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. We are the human race. This is who we are. We are compass, we're sundial. This is who we are. We're infinite eternal creators. This is who we are. This is who we are. This is our nature. The love of our heart is the highest energy of creation. So I'm going to read a few more things. Nature. Visions drives the mission. The telemetry, the electrogravitics. The pride of being human, what it is. Proud creators, who we are. All the things that we can do. The singularity of the human heart. The highest energy of creation. The biology of that. Energy is creation and creation is life. Love is creation. We love our creations. Love comes from the heart and the heart gives us life. Life is creation and creation is energy and love is the energy of creation. Love you all with all my heart, with all my might. Maturity equals humility. Love is energy. Love is life. Love is life. Life and love, they come from the same place, the human heart. Life is creation and creation is energy. Love is the energy of creation. This is our story, the story of humanity, who we are. And each of us is a chapter in them. You need to love yourself with all your heart, with all your might. Because this is our story. Everything that you do is stored in your DNA memories. Remember this. Love is infinity. It's a virtuous cycle. Compass and sundial. Who we are. We live to love and we love to live. We're co-creators of infinite eternities. This is who we are. We're light spherical energy. We're light spherical beings. We're the human race. We're sentient. We love. We're emotions. We're feelings. Love equals evolution. When we love, we evolve. No fear. Infinite love. Follow your heart, signs and signals. Go for gold and diamonds. Do it all in, here and now. Why how is the mechanism to manifest infinity. Why how makes infinity come true through action. Okay, so I'm going to read a few more things. Okay, sundials. Open our eyes, open our hearts, open our minds, and stare at the sun. Open the portal and build the bridge. We are the biological scale of infinity. We are the creator. We are infinity. We are the singularity. We are everything that exists. We are eternity at the biological scale. This is who we are. This is what the DNA structure is. Human DNA, body, organs, glands, infinity. Love is the highest energy of creation, and we're the biological expression of that. We're the highest energy of creation, and we are the human heart. Infinite eternal biology, evolution, singularities of all organs and glands. Resonance. We're energy from the sun. Self-awareness, consciousness, love, infinite love. Love is the highest energy of creation. Love is the flow of infinity. Remember all these infinite virtual cycles. Sun and earth coming together as one, creating us as a human species, the biological species that we are, the human heart. Okay? Purposeful goals, they matter. The human heart and the DNA key, they come together into this virtuous cycle of infinity, so we untap our DNA memories and know who we are, the most ancient species, the most incredible species. Parents and children, where we learn how to love. We all someone's children, and we all someone's parents. That's just the mechanism. We all children of the world. We all have parents. This is who we are. This infinite virtual cycle. Sperm and egg. This infinite virtual cycle creating life, the human race, who we are as a species. Sunlight and love. The highest energy outside and the highest energy within, coming together as one and creating us, infinite eternal creators, humans. Life and love. We love life. Infinite virtual cycle. Loving life. Life is love. This is all there is. Biological and non-biological. This infinite virtual cycle coming together so we understand that we're the biological expression of infinity, and infinity is everything that is not us and is us, all together as one. Why, how? This infinite virtual cycle of why and how coming together, giving us the language of infinity in our minds so we can untap our DNA memories and love with all our hearts and stare at the sun. That gives us maturity and humility, understanding who we are, the central species of the universe, and us as electromagnetic fields of creation, humanity, infinite eternal creators. Love is the highest energy of creation. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm so Ray. We are the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the Republic of Planet Earth Constitution. This is who we are. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I love you all.